Hey, it's Tammy Express, and we're gonna understand what comes first. So what we're gonna do is look at some math SAT definitions. But hang on, why are we gonna look at the definitions if we're gonna get to the actual problems, actual math problems? Well, the first thing you gotta do is read the question on the test. The problem is, many test takers get the problem incorrect because even though they do the correct math, it's not what the question is asking for. And also, there are some mathematical definitions that throw people off. So that's why we're going to look at the math basics. So, personal order of difficulty. So what happens is the math SAT questions for calculator and non-calculator will have questions that progress over time as well as them getting harder and harder. What we can do is answer questions that seem easy to you at first, not the ones that are harder. We can save them for last because the SAT and the PSAT is very time consuming. So you don't want to do any of that because that'll just waste your time. It doesn't matter what kind of question it is or what difficulty it is. All what happens is it gives you the same amount of points. So let's start looking at the definitions and giving out some examples. So integer, numbers that have no fraction or decimals. Just like we have the numbers 8 and -3. These are integers because they're whole numbers, not ones with fractions or decimals. Now we have positive numbers. Positive numbers are any number that's greater than 0. We could have 10, that's a positive number, but also we can say 10.0001. That is also a positive number. Negative numbers are the exact opposite, however. They have numbers that are less than 0. So what we have to do is put them into negative numbers. Even numbers. Numbers that can be evenly divisible by 2. Just like 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? See, we have 2, another 2, 2, and a 2. Divide everything by 2, we get 1, 2, 3, and 4. Evenly divisible by 2. However, odd numbers like 9 cannot work because then you have 4.5. Which doesn't evenly divide up to 2. Factors. Numbers that can be divided without leaving any kind of remainder. For example, we are going to say 1 and 20. What are the factors of 1 and 20? Oh, 1 and 20 is a factor. We can say 2 and 10, just like the rainbow. And then we're going to say 4 and 5. So this is going to be different factors of 20. 4 and 5 can be a factor of 20. 2 and 10 can be a factor of 20. Multiples. Numbers that are divided without leaving any kind of remainder. So what we can do is basically factors, but we are going to say that 4 and 5 are multiples of 20. 2 and 10 are multiples of 20 as well, and 1 and 20 are multiples of 20. Prime numbers. Numbers that can only have factors only one and itself. Like the unlucky number 13. The reason why is you can't evenly multiply or divide by 13. It just gives you 1 and 13. You only multiply by 1 and itself to become a prime number. So let's turn the page and see what happens. Hey, there are more definitions right here. Distinct. Numbers that have a value of 3 and 8 or 2 and -2. This isn't very common because you don't really see that in your math test at school. We can say 3 and 8 and 2 and -2 because we have a positive and a negative. A positive and a negative. Digit. a figure from 0 to 9 that is used by a placeholder. We can use that on a calculator. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The digits. Once you reach 10, you must use the 1 and the 0. So that's kind of easy to understand. Consecutive numbers. Consecutive numbers are like any order of numbers and counting. Sometimes like patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Consecutive numbers. Divisible. Can be divided with no remainder. Just like we can say 9 divided by 3 equals 3. That is a divisible. Remainder. Something has to remain somehow. When a number is divided by another number and has some pieces left over, therefore, there are some remainders. If I say like 9 divided by 2, if I say 9 divided by 2, that's going to equal 4.5. But if I say 9 divided by 2, that is going to bring me 4, remainder 1. You probably learned this in 4th grade. It's really a good idea to memorize all the stuff because the so-called SAT and the PSAT is going to have skills aging from like kindergarten all the way to like your algebra 2, maybe pre-calculus. The sum. The effects of adding everything on the field. So we're going to say, we're going to add, I'm going to make a consecutive order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 plus 2 is 3, 6, 10, 15, 21. So that is the sum. The product is going to be a little bit different. The product is going to be the effects of multiplying everything on the field. So what we're going to do is 1 times 2 times 3 times 4. 1 times 2 is 2 times 3 is 6 times 4 is 24. 24 is our product. The difference. The effects of subtracting. Like for example, if I wanted to find the distance between 24 and 10, I'm going to say 24 and 10. To find the distance between the two, we have to do 24 subtract by 10. That will bring me to 14 units. Quotient. A number's distance from 0, quotient. Effects of dividing. Something like our quotient is going to be 10 divided by 5 equals 2. 2 represents our quotient. Absolute value. A number's distance from 0 and will always have a positive value. So what we're going to say is, say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So if I say 2 of negative 2, our absolute value to get to 0 is 2. But to get to 2, it will be another 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. To get from negative 2 to positive 2 is 4. Also, mind those absolute value bars. If you see a negative number like negative 3, it will bring you a 3. If you see just 3, it will still bring you a 3. And last but not least, composite numbers. Numbers that are multiples, anything other by 1 and itself. So what we understand is, going back to that 1 and 20 scenario, we're going to say 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. So 20 is a composite number because it can have multiples other than 1 by itself. And that is all the definitions on the SAT stuff. I hope this video has helped you understand what comes first, identifying what the problem is and what words are used, because that will give you key clues to understand what you are trying to look for. Thank you for watching Tammy Express. Like and subscribe.